So we already heard the news, Forza Horizon 6 won't be released this year. But I'm not really disappointed. So yesterday, if you guys watched the Xbox showcase, there is no announcement about like, hey, Forza Horizon 6 will be released in 2025. However, Phil Spencer already like confirmed that there will be a next Forza title that will be released maybe next year.
To celebrate 25 years of Xbox with a new Fable, the next Forza.
But we don't know if it's Forza Horizon 6 or maybe another Forza title. So pretty much the next Forza Horizon will be announced for next year. So I guess they will announce the new Forza games on the next Xbox event, which will be in next year, in 2026. But if they try to announce it on Gamescom, that will be arrive in August 2025, or maybe they try to announce it Game Awards in the late 2025. Yeah, it's very unlikely that the game will release in 2025. So a lot of people will think like, oh no, racing games are already dead. No, you're wrong. Because you still have a lot of options for racing games that you can play in 2025. Like the only AAA open world racing games that still has constant update is the Crew Motorfest. Yeah, because it's accessible on different platforms like PS5, Xbox, and PC. And the Crew Motorfest will still have like updates to the game, even though it's like a 4 months each updates. Well, at least it's better than nothing, I guess. Because yeah, we will have like the Crew Motorfest Season 7 next month. And I guess they will announce something big for Season 8, which we don't know if Season 7 will be like a mid-update just like Season 6. But yeah, I promise you Season 8 for the Crew Motorfest will be like the biggest update ever, just like in Season 5 update. So yeah, like the ongoing open world arcade racing games that is still get constant updates is the Crew Motorfest. So TCM is just like our last hope for that kind of genre for this year. Because we already know there won't be any update for Forza Horizon 5, because I know the developers is focusing more to developing Forza Horizon 6 or maybe the next Horizon games. But I'm kind of doubting the developers will still updating Forza Horizon 5 in the future. And then we got Need for Speed, but yeah, Need for Speed is already long gone, so not a lot of people really care about that game anymore, except for Need for Speed Heat. So yeah, like TCM is like our only options, but you have another alternative, which is the CarX Street. So CarX Street, if you guys didn't know, will be released on consoles. So they will release on Xbox first, later on this month, on June 18, I think. And then for CarX Street on PlayStation, it will be released this summer on 2025, which we didn't know it will be released in July or maybe in August. But hey, you have another alternative for racing games that is playable on different platforms. So assuming because CarX Drift Racing Online is crossplay, so CarX Street will be crossplay. So you can play with your friends on PlayStation 5 and you're playing with other friends on PC. So yeah, it's pretty much happening. So I guess CarX Street is just like the perfect alternative for racing games that you can play this year. I will try to revisiting that game really soon if it's available on different platforms, because for now CarX Street is only available for PC. So yeah, that's all for console racing games. But however, if you own a PC, you might try to play something different. Some different racing games that might pique your interest. For example, like the Tokyo Extreme Racer 2025. Even though this game is still like in early access, but the developers, Genki, already announced they will fully releasing this game on September. I think they delayed it, I think they delayed it because I remember they tried to release the game on July, but they just like delayed it to September. So yeah, there will be like a full release of Tokyo Extreme Racer this year. And I don't know if Tokyo Extreme Racer will be coming to console really soon. It's pretty much unlikely. But yeah, if you have PC, you can play Tokyo Extreme Racer 25, you can buy it on Steam. And other than that, there is also another racing games that sets place in Japan that I just played recently, which is the JDM Japanese Drift Master. The game is pretty good. I'm quite enjoying myself to play that game. Because, yeah, you know, the driving mechanics and everything, it's not really perfect, but very enjoyable. And also the map itself is really beautiful because the game takes place in fictional Japan, and the maps, it's not only like Tokyo Extreme Racer, because you already know Tokyo Extreme Racer, it's an open world racing games, but it's only sets place in highway only, like in Tokyo Highway. But in Japanese Drift Master, you have highway, you have city, and also a mountain pass. So you can just like driving it on some certain areas, or maybe drifting it on mountain pass. It has a really good storyline as well, even though it's a bit cringy. So basically, JDM Japanese Drift Master is just like a Forza Horizon-like racing games that sets place in Japan, made by indie developers with a lower budget. And other than that, there's also a lot of indie racing games that you can try it out for this year. Like maybe Night Runners, because I don't know if Night Runners will be released at the end of this year, because they didn't have any confirmation date for the game to be full released. But you can still try it out for the demos. Yeah, the game has the same vibe as Tokyo Extreme Racer, but more dark and gritty. So if you are into fuckboys and edgy stuff, you can try Night Runners. And for Night Runners, yes, you can try out the demo right now. So if you go to the Steam page, you can download the demo. There's still a lot of like indie racing games that will be released this year and also next year. Or maybe some racing games that is made by a smaller studio, just like Screamer, because they already announced by Milestone they will make a brand new arcade racing game called Screamer, and it will be released next year. Also, I kind of forget about Wreckfest 2 and Assetto Corsa Evo. Yeah, because Wreckfest 2 and Assetto Corsa Evo is still in early access phase, but I think they will be full release at the end of this year. Because I remember Wreckfest 2, they have like roadmaps to it, and it will release like at the end of this year or maybe at the start of 2026. And also Assetto Corsa is still like receiving a lot of constant updates, like each 2 months or something, and it will be released at the end of this year as well. I haven't played both of those games, but because it's still like early access, so I didn't even bother, because it's just basically like a demo or just like a beta test for a fully released game. I think there's also a lot of different indie racing games that you can try this year, like Drive Rally, which is actually a unique style rally games. So if you're really into rally, probably this is a perfect game for you. There's also like some unique racing games, like if you're really into vehicular combat racing games, you have Burn Rubber 6. So this game is a vehicular combat racing games, which you can just like destroy other vehicles or maybe shoot each other's vehicles. And the demo is already available to be played on Steam. So yeah, if you really want to try out that game, go try the demo. And the other games, you can also have Recreation. Recreation is just like a combine of Burnout and Trackmania, because if you see it on the trailer, you can make your own racetrack with your friends and you can just like race it around after you're done creating your track. And destruction things is basically just like Burnout games, because developers who made Recreation used to be the team who made the previous Burnout games from the PS2 era. And they already made, you know, some kind of like a Burnout homage game, but it doesn't receive a really good reviews. So I don't know if it's released this year, I'm probably gonna guess it's probably next year. But yeah, if you're really interested with vehicular combat racing games, I think Burning Rubber 6 and Recreation is your answers. I don't think this is count, but yes, Gran Turismo 7 and maybe Forza Motorsport 2023 is still getting constant updates, but I don't think a lot of people interested with Forza Motorsport 2023. But for PlayStation users, you're probably still playing Gran Turismo 7, because I guess, yeah, GT7 is still exclusive to PlayStation 5 only, and I haven't played that game, so yeah. There's also another indie racing games that has really piqued my interest. The game is called Kaido Genkai, so if you guys really familiar with the PS2 era racing games called Automodelista, you might really like this game, because it has the same graphic style, and then with the mix of like, you know, RPG in the game. So yeah, it's basically a game with the mix of Automodelista and a game called Road Trip Adventure, because yeah, that's basically a car game, a car PG game from PS2 era. So it has like a shell shading graphics and arcade style gameplay. So I hope you might interest with this game as well. If you think about it, some of these racing games that release in 2025 sets place in Japan, like Tokyo Extreme Racer sets place in Tokyo, and then JDM Japanese Drift Master sets place in fictional Japan. Night Runners also sets place in fictional Japan, and then Kaido Genkai, which also sets place in fictional Japan. So yeah, everything is a Japanese team racing games for this year. So I guess a lot of the developers feel very relieved because Forza Horizon 6 is not releasing in 2025. Because I know a lot of people speculating Forza Horizon 6 will set place in Japan, but it's still not true. So my conclusion is, well, racing games is not dead. So yeah, you can just like giving a shot to play all of these indie racing games if you can play it on your PC. You can just like buy it on Steam, or maybe if you're playing it on console, you can try out the Crew Motorfest or maybe CarX Street, because yeah, CarX Street will be coming really soon on Xbox and PlayStation. But other than that, I will try to end this video right here. So yeah, I'm not really disappointed with Forza Horizon 6 is not releasing in 2025, because you still have a lot of racing games to play in this year. But still, for the popular racing games that you can play for now, it's probably the Crew Motorfest, or maybe Gran Turismo 7 and maybe Forza Motorsport, but okay, I'm probably gonna end this video right here, so see you guys again on the next video. Take care everyone, and bye bye.